This is the scene of a big homeless encampment cleanup by Toronto City staff today. 7 garbage trucks full of box springs, mattresses, trash, and a shocking amount of used, dirty syringes. City crews spent hours combing through the debris, locating 2 bins full of needles. Now, this is what's left here near Spadina and the Gardiner. There was about 12 people living on and off here underneath this underpass, or rather this overpass, over the winter time. And we can tell you there's still some syringes in the ground. We've been asked, though, by some people who still remain to keep our distance this hour. Now, even with some people who've been sleeping here over the winter using drugs, city staff say it's never an easy decision to displace those who have nowhere to go.
It's always a fine line to travel between providing the supports, including permanent housing assistance that we do regularly to those who are sleeping outside, and the public's right to use public spaces.
This was the scene here on Monday before the cleanup when we visited. The city had already issued the dozen or so people sleeping here a notice to vacate. That day we saw people preparing to shoot up. We easily spotted more syringes out in the open. It appeared some had been here so long they had near permanent setups: mattresses, bedside tables, tires, swings, pets, clothing, a little bit of everything.
What we saw this morning was the culmination of a process that would have started several weeks ago.
In this case, Transportation Services made the call to remove this encampment because of its proximity to the Gardiner and the Lakeshore. Now, all of this involves multiple city departments.
The municipal licensing and standards folks were there. It's a bylaw infraction. Solid waste was there. There were transportation people there as well to assist with the cleanup, and streets to homes.
The City of Toronto confirms today's cleanup cost an additional $3,500 on top of what is already set aside in the budget. City News has learned in 2016 the Streets to Home program helped clear out 160 homeless sites, and it's an expensive endeavor.
It costs a lot to keep people homeless, and as has been indicated by numerous studies, it costs a lot less to have somebody housed and supported and well.
We watched a young man walk his shopping cart full of bags up Spadina following the clear-out today. It's not clear where many will go, though changing the perception of the shelter system for those on the streets is key, according to many frontline workers.
I think there's an opportunity, frankly, to modernize the shelter sector and really to make it more responsive to the needs of everybody who needs to use it.
It's important to note not everyone on the streets is using hard drugs, though it's an epidemic which is stealing lives every day.
One of my friends just died on an overdose of heroin there the other day, just yesterday. It's too much, right?
Sometimes the hardest part is getting those who need help the most to accept a helping hand.
If you have an addiction issue, it's a health issue, and people need support and they need help, and not providing that isn't going to help them, and it's not going to help our communities.
Now, the number of homeless encampments in our city has been on the rise every year since they began keeping track in 2005. As of last year, the city knew of 131 tent cities. Now, as this one was cleaned out today, there's another one right on the other side of Spadina, which we've learned will be cleared out next week.